we've created incentives for citizens to inform on each other. And anytime large amounts of cash are used, the government wants to know about it. There was an individual, this was in Dallas, Texas. He was going to Las Vegas. He was going to gamble. He had $10,000 in cash, I think. He paid for his airline ticket with cash. The airline representative called the police, said someone just bought a ticket with cash. He got a lot of cash. They came down and seized it. He gets a reward. It turns out the individual was not a drug dealer. He was taking cash to gamble with, but his cash was seized, and the individual got a reward.
How do you mean you get a reward? Is that part of the system?
Yeah.
Yeah. In this case, the airline employee actually gets a cash reward for informing the agents that are in the airport that a ticket has been paid in cash. But in the airlines, I think it's DEA that's actually doing it.
DEA
And you can have regulations like that set up a reward structure. The legislature wouldn't create something like that, per se. The laws would allow for that, and then this becomes an administrative arrangement. There are administrative guidelines that say this is how you do these things. And they would simply tell airline employees that you, too, can have an incentive to fight the war on drugs.
But doesn't that pose the danger that, say, agencies will go just for the money?
Yes, it does, and that's where you have to be careful. You have to show that your investigation is... You have to show that your investigation is such that you don't want to look like you're sitting there letting these people continue to traffic narcotics just so you can get a certain amount of money. What you want to do is show that you have an investigation that because of reasons outside of wanting to get money, that's why you're using this asset forfeiture, not strictly for money or not strictly for cars or for houses. Don't sit and wait because you know he's going to buy a new Lexus or a Mercedes. You know, if you can show that you're waiting to go after him because you're trying to get the big man, you know, or his boss, or a group of individuals, yes. But asset forfeiture has to be used very, very carefully. Don't let it be a tool that strictly for gaining money or assets for your department.
Does it happen, you think?
I'm sure that it does, sir. I'm sure that it does. It has not happened in our department. It has not happened in any agency that we've ever worked with. But you do read sometime in law enforcement and judicial journals that it has happened, and they are challenged in court and sometime upheld.
Because it's tempting, it seems to me.
It is very tempting.
So what we need to do first is identify the buildings and or single unit dwellings that we want to target in this. We're supposed to be seeing a pink house on the north side of Candler between Brush and Oakland. The north side about mid-block.
Yeah. Because I saw him over there last night.
That's where your CI was staying. The new one you got. Yeah, she was staying there for a while, and she was telling me about it. Okay. And that's something we'll send a CI, not a UC, until we find out.
Your information, you got it when you're an ATF, but I just got it again. Tenny's McNichol selling guns out of the party store.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I ran into that CI that we used for a while there, and upon speaking to it, they told me that they're selling, you know, Saturday night specials out there for $100, $150. And I know the ATF had it because I talked to Big Manny about it, you know, a long time ago. So maybe we can try to do something with that.
Also, I'm hearing that with the stores are getting stolen merchandise, and what people are doing is buying the merchandise with food stamps. So they bring their food stamps and they buy a VCR or TV from the stores.
Okay.
As well as their narcotics, and a lot of times it might be a little extra money, like with U.S. currency it'd be $10 with food stamps and maybe $15 for a $10 run, as well as those electronic items.
Notify the Secret Service on that.
We could actually, if we handle that ourselves, some way or another, we could actually almost forfeit the whole business as well as the proceeds they had.
Yeah, you do an omnibus. It's not asset forfeiture, be an omnibus forfeiture.
what it's done is create incentives to go after big fish if you can catch them, but that's very difficult to do. But it also has created incentives to go after the little fish who you can catch relatively easily. So it turns out that most seizures, the vast majority of seizures, are small.
How many arrests do you make a year?
Yearly, I would say probably those that we can take to court and those cases that we get convictions on, probably in the area of about 5,000.
That many?
Yes, sir.
Just in your police department?
Yes, it's just in our city. Yes, sir.
Hello, this is the Fortune Society. How may I help you?
The Fortune Society is an organization that's been around for 31 years that serves the needs of people coming out of prison and does advocacy and community education on criminal justice issues. We see about 2,000 people a year coming out of prison and work with them to help them rebuild their lives.
So you've been doing this for 31 years, so you must have a clear picture of what the war on drugs is doing.
I think that what we see is not a war on drugs, it's a war on poor people with drug involvement. And the casualties are terrible. The United States is engaged in an experiment of wholesale incarceration that is having a multi-generational impact, and I think we're barely beginning to see the damage that it's doing. We have a two-tier system in this country of dealing with substance abuse. If you're white and a child of privilege, you're likely to end up in drug treatment if you have a drug problem. If you're poor and a person of color, you're likely to end up incarcerated. And it's a very, very vivid division. What we've seen is an escalation in incarceration rates. And we've seen incarceration being used at such a level of intrusion that it is, in some communities, the dominant cultural force in the lives of young people growing up. We've seen the prison system and the jail system in this country expand to the point where in California they now spend more on their criminal justice, on the prison system piece alone of the criminal justice system. They now spend more on that than they do on education.
They sit between these abandoned houses like this is a good one right here. They like sit between here. As you can see, they're not sitting here any longer because with our efforts of coming by here every single day, letting them know that we know they're selling drugs and attempting to arrest them and catch their narcotics, them with it, they tend to stay out the area. And this is another street that was quiet. If you came here this summer, you would have seen people all up and down the street all day and night, selling on bikes anywhere from the age of 8, 9 to 10 to 30 years old plus selling.
We see people coming through the Fortune Society all the time who have committed a drug crime with a fairly small amount of drugs, possession, sale, and they're serving years and years and years. As the state gets tougher and the sentences get tougher and the room to get out on parole gets eliminated, people are doing longer and longer sentences on these drug charges.
What you see in the corner are the, more the what we call runners. They do the dirty work. They may get $500-600 a day for selling dope all day, but to a 16-year-old kid, $500-600 is quite a bit.
$20 to every $100 they sell. $100 worth of narcotics. If someone may know them, they may get $30, but that's kind of pushing it. Usually to every $100 of narcotics they sell,